Do you feel like you're hitting a wall as you're trying to get into real estate? The most important thing as a buyer is to figure out what kind of buyer you are. Are you a holder? Are you a fix and flipper? Or are you a wholesaler? A holder is an investor who buys and holds real estate. Crazy, I know. The biggest benefit of buying and holding properties is that you get the tax depreciation of the asset. On top of that, as an investor, you should expect cash flow and appreciation over time. Those are three amazing benefits to buying and holding. A fix and flipper also buys the property, but instead of looking for the tax benefits or the cash flow, they fix it up all nice and shiny and then sell it for a quick profit. A fix and flipper makes a lot of money in a lump sum, but doesn't get the additional benefits as a buy and holder does. A fix and flipper is at a lot more risk in case of a market downturn, where it's possible they'll see a loss instead of a profit. The keys to getting started as a buy and holder or as a fix and flipper is having access to capital. There are many ways to acquire properties with little to no money using creative finance, which we'll get to in later videos, but it's a smart business move to have enough cash on hand for emergencies so that those emergencies don't wipe out your business. If you feel that you're ready to be a buy and holder or a fix and flipper, then we'll help you find your next deal. Simply click on the buyer's link in the description below, fill out the buyer's form, and we'll send you your next deal. Now that we've gone over being a holder and a fix and flipper, let's get into wholesaling, which will be the main focus of this series. Wholesaling is essentially buying something and then turning around and immediately selling it without making any improvements. Wholesaling properties is the best way to get into real estate if you don't have access to capital. The process is simple, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy. The wholesale process looks like this. Me, Brad, a wholesaler, find someone looking to sell their house. Usually I'm looking for someone who is very motivated to sell their house. I work with the seller and we come to an agreement on what price I buy the house at. We then bind that agreement with a contract called a purchase agreement. I then go out and find a buyer who's willing to pay slightly higher than what I paid for the property. So then by the time the deal closes, I actually don't buy the property, but I make the difference in profit of what I offered the seller and what I sold it to the buyer. For example, if I made an offer on a house for $100,000 and the seller agreed and we got it under contract, by the time that deal closes, I am able to find another buyer and sell it to him for $110,000. By the time this deal closes, I don't actually own the property, but I make $10,000, which is actually considered low for an assignment fee. Through wholesaling, you are able to quickly acquire capital so that you can move on to bigger projects like being a fix and flipper or a buy and holder. It is important to eventually become a buy and holder so that you can get those tax benefits. Just because wholesaling is great for people who don't have access to capital doesn't mean it's cheap to get started. Most aspiring wholesalers can spend thousands of dollars on acquiring data, marketing to sellers, or on earnest money deposits to open up escrow, also known as EMD. So it can still be pretty pricey, up until now. Throughout this video series, we'll go over how you can acquire tens of thousands of leads completely for free, and how you can market to them on a tight budget. We'll even go over how you can use my money for earnest money deposit, or EMD, to get your first deal opened in escrow. If you found value in this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. And if you're feeling extra kind, be sure to comment below something you found valuable or something you would like to learn more about.